very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, the African Cup of Nations is still going on. We're going to talk about it on the show tonight. We have a special for you, but I won't just tell you what it is right about now, but just you have to stay with us to know what the special is all about. It's centered around the African Cup of Nations, and in a few minutes you'll know what I'm talking about. Also, as we move on the show, we will talk about the Nigeria Professional Football League. We'll talk about the Nigeria Women's Football League as well. Then we'll travel abroad, talk about, of course, the transfer deadline as it lapsed. So we'll talk about the players and managers that have changed clubs, new employments. We'll talk about all of that even as we move on. With just a few days to the Winter Olympics, we'll talk about what China is doing as regards the Winter Olympics, all the preparations and all the issues about COVID-19 cases increasing by the day. Of course, the organizers are not deterred in any way. Then, of course, we'll come home and talk about the crisis in Nigerian basketball. Two presidents elected in Abuja and in Edo State. We'll talk about the drama surrounding all of that. And, of course, we'll try to feel the pulse of people, their reactions to the parallel elections that took place in basketball. That's the outlook of the show tonight. And, of course, I won't be doing it alone. So before I go any further, let me quickly introduce my partner. He's right here with me in the Lagos studio. As a matter of fact, a few other people will join us later on. But first, it's time to quickly introduce Kehinde Idris as we take this trip together. Kehinde, greetings to you. Thanks for finding out time to be with me on the show tonight.
Always feels good to be here, and good evening to you. Good evening to our viewer out there. Looks already have a feel of a loaded show, even if it's not on any much of a topic. The MBBF election alone is a loaded discussion. Trust me.
All right.
I think we can dwell on that for 2 hours.
Yes, yes. But that's going to be later part of the show. Let's pause a little, gather our thoughts, that will go straight into the AFCON segment. All right, so we're into it now. Let's, just in case you don't know, let's show it to you. The semi-final appearance, of course, semi-final matches we played on Wednesday and on Thursday. And by now, I should expect that you have recovered from the hangover of the loss of the Super Eagles to Tunisia. By the way, Tunisia, they're out of it as well. So let's really show to our viewers the semi-final fixtures so that you can see. That's it right there on your screen. We start with Wednesday's game, Kehinde, and that's it on your screen. Burkina Faso and Senegal. So what we're going to do is to talk about both teams, and also take some thoughts ahead of the game. You know that there was a press conference today that was held ahead of this game. But Kehinde, let me get your thoughts. We have to talk about both sides, but first let's talk about Burkina Faso. Let's start with let's start with Senegal. Senegal. In that last game, if that was the only game you watched, you probably might be impressed with the Teranga Lions. I felt they knew what they had to do. They came out, they did it. Sadio Mane impressed me. He had a hand in 2 of the goals. He played well. At the end of the game, he said, look, it doesn't matter if he has to turn provider. He's ready to sacrifice anything for the team.
Exactly.
Alilu Cisse as well, the coach. The criticism has not really gotten to him. All that matters is moving on.
Progressing, that's it. You can, in Africa, arguably the #1 team. There was a time it would be Algeria, Senegal, then Senegal, Algeria, like that. So whether you throw the criticism, so many times the criticism comes from the angle of the showing of the team. They are not always very enjoyable to watch, not so impressive. But at the end of the day, what matters the most in football or in any sport is result. And he's getting the result. He was in the last AFCON final, losing to a fantastic team in that Algerian setup. Hey, that period, Algeria were in blistering form. Nobody could touch them because they were super hot. Now you're here at this Nations Cup. Look at Algeria had fallen off from the group stages. They're already out. You know, nobody remembered Algeria is here, and they are still pulling on. And then you mentioned something that is very murky. The last game against Equatorial Guinea, I felt very much personally that this is a top banana peel game for Senegal. I thought these are games that probably would wear into the extra time, would probably get into penalties. Although I had a feeling Senegal might pull through, but I thought they were going to be well stretched. But before I could say Jack Robinson, they scored a goal. Equatorial Guinea equalized, but it turned on the style. Now, this is what top teams do. At those period, delicate places, delicate stages, they tend to turn up and let you understand, hey, what a big team is and what a minor or what a small team is. And that's what the Senegalese did. And that is why, up until now, they are still one of the most feared teams. If you go by personnel, they've got massive personnel in there. Koulibaly, you mentioned Sadio Mane, then their goalkeeper, always very reliable. The Mendy of Chelsea. They have a squad that is so fantastic. They have a coach who has seen it at that height, seen it all, and they understand what every stage means. Now, in the group stages, I always say it, I said it here over and over again, you do mistakes that is very forgivable. That is why they could pull on to the knockout round with the way they had their showing in the group stages. But from the knockout round of 16 quarterfinal, semi-final, final, no mistake is forgivable. You go in there, you do your mistake, you get hit, and then you are out of the competition. But they've been able to keep themselves fresh. Look at how many goals have been scored against the Senegalese team. Maybe that's another angle we could check. They are not conceding, as much as they are not scoring, it's not like they are conceding loads of goals. Cameroon can be questioned on conceding and all of that, and they did so well in the last game. So Senegal understand where we are right now, and they are playing a team that also have gotten a lot of heads turning and gotten a lot of teams worried.
All right, let's talk about Burkina Faso. After losing to Cameroon in the first game, they've recovered. Although it must be said, second round they had to go through via penalties.
Yeah.
But they played their hearts out against the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia. And what a performance. Against the backdrop of not having
their
best player.
Their star man, yep.
Who, for me, personally, I feel, even when he played, he's been lethargic. And I don't really think they're missing him. But it must be said, with all the issues they've had with the coach having COVID, some players even played some parts of that second half with 10 men, and they were still, Burkina Faso have come here and have shown that they can really go all the way.
They can really go all the way. And one of the things people don't really take note of this, Burkina Babes, is that for the past 10 years, 12 years, they are one of those teams from Africa that has properly putting African football in another light. Hey, go back to the group of Banse. You can remember what they did. We played, Nigeria had to play them in the final. It ended 2-1. It was well fought.
To be honest, I think it's even way beyond that, even as far back as 98.
Yes, I'm even meaning in recent time, the consistency.
Yes.
They've been to, I think, almost every quarterfinals since then.
There was a lull period.
Yeah.
But they also got back into it.
Yeah, I'm saying from 2013.
And since 2013.
Yes. It's been consistent at least to the quarterfinal stage, and they've made themselves a force to reckon with. Whether you like to say that they've got personnel, they've got good play, they understand what it is to play African football. They've got a lot of grit in that team still. But if you take a proper look at the Burkina Babes, they also play some fantastic football. That is why they always have 1, 2, 3 players that are so nice. Like Diatta at a point, like Banse. Banse at that time was one of the strikers.
Troipa.
Yeah, exactly.
Alain Traoré. Back in those days.
They always have those 1, 2 touches in their team that has nothing to do with skill or grit. They have a lot of finesse. And look at this squad now. They've got, Traoré right there. You say he's lethargic. I think he's one of their star man, yet he's one of those that's taking responsibility towards himself to free up a lot of other players, especially in the attacking fold. He draws players close. 2, 3 players comes to him. He takes one out, takes 2 out, open up for others, and you find spaces in others. In that last game, yes, they were able to hold their own against Tunisia. Maybe one of the things that we fail to see is that Tunisian team is not as good
as we thought they were.
As we thought they were, because Burkina Faso controlled the Tunisian team so well. And then this team continues to remind us that if you get to look close your eyes for a minute, then we will already have shocked you. A 19-year-old got the goal against Tunisia, although, you know, he later got a red card, you know, to leave that game abruptly.
Yeah.
But the team, we should now start properly, you know, taking note of this thing. I'm sure Aliou Cisse and his team are not having, you know, sleep, looking at where they can hold this team. Because I'm looking at the team and I'm wondering, how well can you plan against these Burkinabes?
Yeah, let's quickly talk about this before we take some reactions. We're going to do the head-to-head later, but even as journalists, you look at this side of the two teams, looking at it objectively and without any bias. I mean, there's no way we can be biased. We don't have a dog in the race.
Of course.
So there's no way we can be biased. I think that the Burkinabes have an Achilles heel, and I think it's their defense.
Yep.
So if you want to compare and contrast, they can score goals. Yes, Senegal can score goals. Who has a better defense, a better goalkeeper?
Yep.
It has to be Senegal. And we've seen them make schoolboy errors.
That's the Burkina.
Yes,
team,
in defense. I mean, they had no business losing that first game to Cameroon. They were just giving.
But you can't forgive them.
Yeah,
it's the first game. They are playing. They were just giving the home team.
My point is, you don't give such gifts in the knockout phase.
Of course,
you won't recover.
And you've seen them do better from that game. You've seen them lock up, you know, better at the defense and all of that. Yes, you cannot put them in the same stead with the likes of,
at least defensively.
Defensively, with the likes of Nigeria, Senegal, these guys have got stars who play almost all around the world. US, Europe, Asia, Africa, top teams and all of that. So they've got personnel who have seen it at that height. But the Burkina Faso, they don't have the luxury of that. All they have the luxury of is being a unit.
Yes.
And one of the things they've done is to let that unit stay as strong as possible.
Compact.
If you must break the Burkinabes, you must understand that you need to break down everybody.
All right.
And that is what Senegal will be wanting. And that is why I said Cisse and his team would have sleepless night getting to think of where the weaknesses are for this team. Now, another angle to the semi-final is the fact that, hey, when you're a smaller team, it feels easier. It's like a dog biting a man. It's no story. But when a man bites a dog, it's the entire news. It's the headline. If the Burkinabes get to beat Senegal, trust me, it will be news scattered everywhere. If Senegal gets to pull through over Burkina Faso, we just be like, okay, top team. Exactly. And that is where the worry is for Senegal.
All right, that's where the worry is for Senegal. We'll see. Let's quickly listen to former Teranga Lions forward Mamadou Diallo speaking ahead of that game. We'll come back to talk some more still on the semi-final.
The first game was very difficult, but when you come to the quarterfinal and the semi-final and the final is very important. And I think so they rectify a lot of things right now, and now they showing they have very big team. And this is the most important. You see Nigeria win the first 3 games, and you see what happened. You see the Morocco, what happened. And Senegal have very bad things. The beginning was very difficult for them. Not bad, it was very difficult. And now you see the team get very stable to going powerful. To play with Burkina Faso is not easy. I see the Burkina Faso, the team, very well. Very good player, very quickly and very technically. Then I think so the team have to be very powerful and have to be careful, you know, and let the Burkina Faso to get the ball, and one day we need the ball and go to immediately in the forward to try to score. I think so Nigeria do very well, have very good player, but you know they need some time. Because if I see the team from Nigeria, you know, they building now the team, and they have very good player. And I think so it was so bad when you come to the third one and the problem start to getting. They were so confident, and I think so they have to be careful and look what's going well and prepare for the World Cup.
All right, so Mamadou Diallo speaking ahead of that semi-final between 2 West African nations, Senegal and Burkina Faso. And of course, he has refused to underrate Burkina Faso, and of course, reminding us of the things we don't want to hear. Of course, the example he gave about Nigeria doing so well in a group phase and getting knocked out by not so impressive Tunisia. All right, so let's continue on the show. I told you earlier that we had a surprise for you. We're going to let the cat out of the bag. So I can do it now. My partner, Austin Okona Akman, is actually in. Okay, all right. So I guess I won't do it now. You'll still have to wait. But Idris, let me continue with you while I unravel what I'm about to unravel. I'm going to do
I'm also
that later.
waiting.
Okay. Head to head.
Yeah.
Let's quickly see that. These guys have played against each other a couple of times,
yeah.
In international matches. So let's just quickly take a look at the head-to-head of these two teams. They've played against each other 12 times. What you have on the screen, Senegal have won 3 times. The Burkina Faso have won twice, the Stallions, that is. And drawn games between these two sides is 7.
Yep.
It shows you that there have been close matches, close games between these two sides. Yep. And it won't be a surprise tomorrow if we have a game that do not produce too many goals. Yep. We have a game stretched into extra time. I'm not making any predictions. I'm just saying.
No, it looks like the prediction, really.
It will not be a surprise if it turns out that way. Both teams might cancel each other out because they have a lot of similarities. Physicality, they both have
exactly.
It. Players playing in a lot of their players playing in France and all of those. They are both francophone countries. They are similar builds. Yep. You have some
strong, tall.
Yes, even similar lives in some occasions. So a tough game.
A tough game. I think this head-to-head just shows you not so much love lost, not so much love found between these two. They go in there, and it always seems like you're scrapping for who gets the much of the meal, and whoever it is, just enjoy the day. So it is your day, you enjoy it. If it is not your day, then you just understand. Okay, a team that is almost at par with me, took the day. Now, even looking at successes in the African terrain, it's not like the Senegalese have been so successful, compared to the Burkina Faso. So you can see how the African football is. It's just recently that Senegal have become that very massive.
Okay. I want to pause you a little and say this. Nigerians, even though we are not in the competition anymore, we still have a right to say one or two things about the African Cup of Nations. And sometimes, just talk about our pain, seeing the Super Eagles lose out. But then a lot of Nigerian fans are speaking about the teams that have made it to the semi-final and, of course, what they expect to see in the 2 matches that we played in the semi-final. So let's just listen to a report put together, of course, the views of Nigerian fans on the semi-final matches.
As we enter the crucial semi-final stage at the Africa Cup of Nations, Nigerians living in Yaoundé are still sad that the Super Eagles are no longer competing. Meet Mr. Onyeka Ufero. He has lived in Cameroon for 40 years. He had big hopes for the Super Eagles. He told me his wife even prepares food for the team whenever they're around. He said the Super Eagles does not deserve a round of 16 exits.
I rushed all what I was doing in Nigeria to come back here for that match, knowing fully well that Nigeria can never go before the final. I came back and found that they have lost that match. I was highly disappointed. And not only me, almost all our families, friends, and well-wishers here in Cameroon, we are all disappointed.
It's like, how am I going to say? How am I going to do?
I also met Chinedu Ignatius. He's lived in Cameroon for about 20 years. He's disappointed Nigeria has crashed out, but he's happy that Cameroon is still in the competition. Truly, football has the power to unite nations. Another Nigerian football fan, Chinedu Weke, wants the Super Eagles to learn from the experience and work towards getting better.
What happened to them, for me, is like a tragedy to me, because our expectation is not for them to be out. It pains me a lot, but I think God Almighty knows the best.
With a fantastic group stage performance, a round of 16 exits was a rude shock for the Super Eagles. But the fans here believe that with good support and encouragement, particularly in preparing for the World Cup qualifier against Ghana, the Nigerian team will bounce back to victory. In Yaoundé, Cameroon, Austin Okonakpan, Channels Television News.
All right. So, of course, we've let out the secret. So I guess there's nothing to unravel anymore. You already know what I was referring to. So our man, Austin Okonakman, is right there in Yaoundé. He's been feeling the pulse of Nigerians and he's been covering what's going on right there. 9 days after the Super Eagles crashed out, Nigerians are still talking about it. Greetings to you, Austin. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show. And thanks for feeling the pulse of Nigerians outside of Nigeria. It still pains a lot of people that we crashed out. But of course, you are there in Yaoundé. Tell us what is happening.
It's a great to see you, and of course, all our viewers from different parts of the world. Yes, just to share that report, we're in the semi-final stage, and Nigerians are wishing that the Super Eagles are still here, competing at the competition in Cameroon. Look, it's all vibes and guys here and there because they are super confident that they can beat Egypt and make it to the finals. Not just as hosts, they believe that their football is on the rise again and they can go all the way to even winning. So it's an outcome of upset. So when fans are super excited that you were talking, I just listened, because if you really help Cameroonians, if they don't make it to the final or even make it to the final and don't win it, but the semifinals, finals, Burkina Faso and Senegal, you listen to Mamadou Diallo. When I spoke to him, he said, look, he would just tell the boys, just play it like it's a final game. They were four in the group stage. And when it got to the round of 16, they started picking themselves back up. Told that one good thing about Senegal that we're not giving the Senegal Lions credit for was that they were not conceding goals, even though they were not getting the results that we wanted them to get because I quote their big game when you talk about football in Africa. And they weren't conceding, and that was a mega plus for them. So it's Senegal versus Burkina Faso at the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium. That's one will give us so much talking points. We're looking forward to it. Cameroonians are also looking forward to that one. Now we don't know where to stand because those teams are from West Africa. They always root for Burkina Faso. The Cameroonians when Burkina Faso plays Tunisia, you need to see the love for Burkina Faso. Yeah. So now they will just watch because whoever wins tomorrow game, they will be hoping that they will play the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. So about that time, this next stage of the competition, football will give us the finalists.
All right, since we're still talking about the fans of the Indomitable Lions, I mean, you've spoken to a lot of people. What are their thoughts about the team they're going to face? I mean, Egypt, we don't need to start talking about Egypt. Everybody knows the stature of the Pharaohs when it comes to African football. And so, what are their thoughts?
To respect Egypt so much, 7-time champions of the African Cup of Nations. Anyway, you get Salah. That's all they know, in the Egyptian team, So, but when the game Egypt played and the way they approached that match against Morocco in the quarterfinals, goes to tell you that it's business. So, the Cameroonian team, they know this. The coaches are trying to, get it quiet. We're talking so much now. Just, as I said, giving respect to themselves. But the fans, their energy is off the roof. They are so pumped up for this match against Egypt. It's a win or a win for Cameroon. They are going to come out there. I just hope that this time around your good crowd control management so we don't see what we saw at the Olympic Stadium weeks ago when there was a stampede. I'm sure the Confederation of AFCON football will tell Cameroon, make sure you manage this crowd properly. But look, if you have any single fan of Cameroon, they will tell you that the Indomitable Lions will go on beat Egypt and then they will win this title.
So let me just bring Kende into it as well so that we can have a robust conversation on the AFCON. Kende, we want to get ahead of ourselves. We've spoken extensively about Burkina Faso and Senegal. But let's jump ahead a little and look at Egypt, Cameroon. Recent history between these two sides, Cameroon beat Egypt to win the 2017 African Cup of Nations. That was in the final. But now they're playing against Egypt. It's still almost the same side. Most of those the Arrowheads.
Yes.
Some of the guys. Well, okay. Let me scratch that. This team is still the same from 2 years ago,
Yeah.
but some of the guys that played in 2017,
Spilled.
yes,
Yeah.
a few of them are here. El Neni,
spilled,
Mo Salah,
yeah.
Trezeguet, but some of the other guys, El
Just came,
Adari,
yeah.
some of the other guys have left. But there's some sort of resurgence in the Pharaohs camp.
Yes, exactly. And it starts to make you understand that one of the things you can do to good teams like this is to exit them early.
Yes.
They wear on, they move on in the competition, they start to get better. They start to feel themselves, they start to feel that mystic thing around their team. And look at, Mo Salah is now coming into the party.
Yeah.
Hey, the round of 16 game, the Arsenal man, El Neni, won the man of the match. He was super in control of the midfield. He did the same against Morocco. Trezeguet came in, and Trezeguet was on a turn in the skin of the Moroccans. You can go on and on. Mohamed, Egazi, El Shenawi. Okay, El Shenawi is out, the replacement goalkeeper. They are now starting to feel like the kind of top player that we all want to see display so well at the AFCON. And that is what you get when top teams get to move on in the competition. You now start to feel like they are terrain. And that is what, that is what looks scary about the Egyptians. Now, when you get to positions like this, stages like this in competitions, you now start to look for X factors. The team will play as a team, but those players who are very, very outstanding will now start to show the reason why they are at this position. Right. The last game, Senegal against Equatorial Guinea, he didn't score money, but he was a super very X factor for the team. Right. And that is what also Mo Salah did.
All right, so let's talk about the 12th man. Let's bring Austin into it again. Austin, let's just talk about Egypt once again. There's no doubt. You don't need to talk about the Indomitable Lions and the support they are getting. They're playing at home. So let's not even waste our time with that. But what's the level of support the Egyptians are getting from their own fans? Are you seeing them in large numbers? Are they around? In the few games that I've seen, I saw a lot of Egyptian fans. So have you encountered them? Does it appear like they're fully on ground to support the Pharaohs?
Yeah, quite a number of them here. I saw them before the match, Morocco, and after the match. Unfortunately, were to speak with me in English. Big support Egypt is getting right here at the Africa competition. You can't take away the respect they command in Africa. You can't take away their quality. And to think about it, that this is the team that lost their first game to the Super Eagles of Nigeria already in the last four. Tells you that the strategic right after that defeat to the Super Eagles, the fans, I'm sure more will even come into Yaoundé. I'm so certain that more Egyptian fans will come into the country. When a large number, the traditional drums doesn't make so much sound, but they just go to boom, 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 and then they start singing and dancing. They love that win against Morocco. It was a North African derby, and the Egyptian team stepped up. What a performance from Mo Salah and of course El Neni, the Arsenal man. Look, at this stage of the competition, you just need to give everything you are. But for this Egyptian team, it's not about sustaining the momentum because they played a beautiful game of football against Morocco. So maybe Carlos Queiroz will find a way to take the play away from Mo Salah. Trezeguet is beginning to get into it now. El Neni is having fun with it now. Maybe Mamouche will also need to step up this Egyptian team. I said it at the start of the competition that if they take the pressure off Salah, they can go all the way. And that's the only way Salah will get into it as the joker of the team. Yes, Yemi, all the Senegalese team just down the road from where I'm staying. Every morning they come out, they do their traditional singing and dancing, wishing their team so well. Same with Egypt, and as I said, I'm sure more support will be coming into the country for them as they take on the host country.
All right, before I let you go, Austin, let's talk about our own. We're out, but let's talk about the fallout of the African Cup of Nations. Augustine Ekwefon has presented his report, technical report, that is, to the NFF. And they've told us they are studying it, they're looking at it. What do you think will happen? Will he stay on? Will someone else come? You know, we're trying to preempt, that's our job, but what do you think will happen?
We will not preempt. We say the same thing. From the body language from the guys in the ministry Development and the NFF, they want to keep this man. They want to keep Coach Austin Eguavon, but they want to, consolidate on the team. I'm hearing Emmanuel Amunike might jump into the role of he's willing to work with Austin Eguavon. So that would be a good plus for the country. So let's wait for the ministry to study that technical report, see if they like it. There's just something about Cerezo when from the time he took over this job at the moment we are in, and I think the fans love him. I think they saw a little bit of what they've been wanting to see from the Super Eagles. So that might just push, of course, the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development and the NFF to say, look, let's stay with this guy. And maybe what I'm hearing, and it might take Emmanuel Amunike to get into the technical director role, while Austin Eguavon will continue as chief coach of the Super Eagles. But you never know these things. Let's see, let's wait to see. And then whatever decision they make, Nigerians will just support their team.
Whatever decisions they make, we will have to support our team. Austin, I want to thank you for your time. It's been a busy day. I'll allow you to go and rest. And, of course, we'll talk again tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Yeah, always be like
All right, so that's our man, Austin Okonakwan, speaking to us all the way from Yaoundé, capital of Cameroon, where the African Cup of Nations is currently going on. All right, so let's take a breather and, of course, end this AFCON segment, and we'll come back on the other side to talk about the other things happening in the fast-paced, money-spinning, exciting world of sports. All right, so we're back. And Ken, this is just hinted that I would like to say something about Augustin Eguavon. And your thoughts? He's sent his reports and possible outcomes?
Yes, I waiting to hear what the report is all about, waiting to get reactions, even if we're not told what is in the report.
Probably we don't get to hear
let's see
to know the content
and all of that. Now,
but there's going to be something that will follow.
Yep, decision making. Yeah. Where is this man standing now? Yemi, I want to ask a simple question.
I should be the one asking.
Yes, like
okay, pose that.
You're more in depth, You're my guy in this whole game. Now, General got about 5 years.
Okay.
We're waiting to see the next big thing that would happen with the General team, who is going to come in.
And in fairness, he laid the foundation for it.
He laid the foundation. Austin Eguavon had few weeks.
Yes.
From the time he got the job to the time we exited and all of that, because since we exited, he's no more the coach. We should face reality. Will a coach like Austin Eguavon, Emmanuel Amunike, the likes of our Nigerian coach, also get a long stretch of chance after chance like a General got? And let's see if it can be better. Probably Austin Eguavon now, makeshift team. I'm using the idea of the players that I've known before with the General setup. Now I am now the coach. I've been given 2 years contract.
Yep.
How will you handle it? It becomes a fuller job, and you do a fuller, a better recruiting, scouting, checking out, and also technical in-depth being put into the team. And that is my simple question.
Yes, because the tag of interim has been taken away.
Has been taken away.
You know you're on the job.
You are now the coach. Yeah, exactly. If he gets the job. Now, even while he was interim, there was the announcement coming. Win just brought it. That Jose Pesero has now been, you're unstable demand while he's still doing his job. That's being put rested and all of that. And you're telling him you're the coach, you sign a 2 years deal. He understands full time. Now I can get the kind of assistant. Hey, Amunike come in. Olise come in. Siase, you guys, I need you all.
Then
and all of that.
He can fully take responsibility
of
for
any wrong, and also he can fully take all of the thumbs up, credit for any right that gets to happen.
All right.
What I'm asking simply, are we willing to give our own the kind of long stretch that we're giving to foreign managers?
So your point is, let's not only talk about giving them the job. If we are going to give them the job,
let's talk about also chance after chance. Yes, that we've given to others from out there.
Are the Nigerian fans patient? That's another question.
Nigerian fans are another problem because a lot of tantrums and stick were thrown, in the way of
That's why we are
Augustine.
not the ones making the decisions.
That's right.
It's very good. It's a body that
we're over 200 million.
I don't want to be that kind of a body. All right, we got to move on the show. It's interesting talking about the Super Eagles. We'll get to do that some other time, but let's move on the show. Let's talk about match day 10 in the Nigeria Professional Football League. It's going to happen tomorrow. Football across the country. We've seen interesting matches played so far. We've seen a lot of surprises, and we hope to see more. Let's give to you fixtures, midweek fixtures, that is, in the Nigeria Professional Football League. Kane Idris, I'm going to run through the fixtures, then you tell me what you think is going to happen in a few minutes that we have to spare. Casino United will take on Sunshine Stars. And Nasarawa United will take on Eima International. Aqua United will take on Kwara United. Shooting Stars will take on Heartland. Some people are saying maybe there's a renaissance for shooting. We'll see. Kano Pillars will take on Remo Stars. Rivers United will take on Dakada. Rangers International will take on Plateau United. Abia Warriors will take on Wiki Tourists. These are the fixtures for match day 10. Then you also have Lobby Stars taking on Niger Tornadoes. These are some of the matches that will be played in the Nigeria Professional Football League. All right, Ken Idris, take your pick of these matches and tell me if you were going to tell somebody to go and see domestic football, to go to any of the venues, which of the venues would you be directing?
I think two majorly.
Okay.
Because I'm loving what these teams are doing. Kano hosting Remo Stars.
Okay.
Now, on the bounce, first it was Remo visiting Rangers.
Yeah.
It ended 0-0. Then Remo hosted Rivers. The two teams that are not lost or in this season yet.
So far.
So far. Both teams made sure they still kept that tag because they played out a 1-1 draw. Now, from there, you're visiting Kano. You're visiting Pillars, one of the perennial campaigners when it comes to...
Very tough place.
Very tough place. I said this after the Rangers game. If Remo gets anything off Rangers, then maybe we should start taking proper look at this team. Let's go past that phase of they just got promoted. It's exciting time. Maybe they are doing something way more deeper than we know. Now they went ahead to play Rivers. Rivers are so informed. And then you got 1-1. Some persons, came and said it's because they are home. Now you're visiting Kano. If they get any, I don't care what form Kano Pillars is. When Kano Pillars, whether in a bad form or a good form, when they meet teams newly promoted or you're not performing so well, they crush them. If Remo gets anything off Kano Pillars, then this team definitely is one of those teams that we should, be talking about as the cynosure for our football. But what gets me worried, really, when I start to wax lyrical about Remo, every day, every time. I remember last season, Kwara United, first 19 games, they didn't lose a game, but in the other 19, which is the other half, and the most important part of the season, hey, the losses kept coming in their torrent. So for Remo Stars, I want to see this game. Then the second game will be Rivers hosting Dakada.
Okay.
Yes, because these two teams have not lost. And I want to see how they go on with that. Now, one of the things that this does to these teams is that they tend to continue to believe in themselves that they can do this. And when you are in that, form psychologically, when you feel, hey, any game I go into, I can win, then you continue to do that good. In the worst case scenario, you get a draw. So I'm having my eyes on Rivers hosting Dakada and also Kano Pillars hosting Remo.
Let's throw in Shooting Stars.
Yes.
I'm hearing a lot of hop shooting these days.
Shooting.
Maybe on the back of that, the win,
in Lagos.
Yeah. So a lot of people say we are back. I don't know. I don't know where they're back from. But shooting against Heartland. Your thoughts?
Heartland is there for the taking. A house in disarray.
Yes.
If you're not picking points off Heartland now, then you're totally wrong. You
should ask yourself what you're doing.
Exactly, because I even ask, who are the players playing for Heartland? Because so many of the players are busy protesting. So who are those? So if you're playing not so much of their good players, then you should be getting points off them. And that is what shooting. If they go ahead and play the way they did in Lagos, because it wasn't just about the win. Shooting played
was the performance.
Yes, sublime football. Some people will say, hey, you can talk about the sublime football because MFM is not also doing so good.
Yes.
So it's easy for you to display and show so well against a team like MFM. But being fair to Shooting Stars, I think they are turning up the style. And maybe this will just be the judgment if they get to go on and crush Atlant. And I want to really see that, especially at that GSM Stadium.
All right. So I guess you agree with a lot of people who feel
they are on the rise.
Yes.
I kind of have that feel. You know, sometimes the MPFL can be very deceitful. Somebody will just throw a jack in that wheel and everything turns upside down. But let's just enjoy the moment. They look like they're on the rise. Let's see with this game if it's continues.
But after tomorrow's games, after we know the results of match day 10, is it enough for us to start saying, this one is going to be here, this one is going to be here, or we still have to wait?
We have to wait.
Till midway.
We have to wait. You can remember the drama that went down last season. Match day 35 was still not sure who would make the top 4. Aside Aqua United that looked home and dry. For Imba, number one, the outstanding games. Then also, we knew what Imba is all about. They breathe down your neck and all of that. Kano Pillars were in the mix at the points also last season. Rivers, Kwara, we had them, just scattered pockets, chances here and there for everybody. So maybe this season is already having a feel of that. Now, Remo Stars are sitting at the top. Right. Rivers are right there at the top. But Yemi, Kano Pillars, Rangers, Eyimba, these are teams that when they turn up, they can go 10 games on the stretch and they just rack up the points and pull up.
Okay, all right. Interesting talking about the Nigerian Professional Football League. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll still be talking about Nigerian football, but this time, the ladies. All right, welcome back. Let's quickly take a look at the ladies now and talk about Nigeria Women's Football League and take a look at the fixtures in that. Match day 7 upon us. It's midweek. Let's take a look in Group A and in Group B, what will happen in those matches. Kehinde Idris, that's it right there on your screen. Nazwa Amazons will take on Confluence Queens in Group A. Pelican Stars will take on Niger Ratels. And also in Group A, Ocean Babes will take on Adamawa Queens. All of these matches in Group A. Let's go to Group B quickly. In Group B, you have Rivers Angels taking on Sunshine Queens, Royal Queens taking on FC Robo Queens, Abia Angels will be up against Delta Queens. We hear that after match day 7, there's going to be a break, and matches will resume February 23rd, thereabout. But your picks, quickly.
Definitely the Robo game would have my attention.
Group A?
Group
okay.
B. Group B.
Okay.
Yes. Our darling Lagos team, not having it so good with the boys, their husband, like I always call them, MFM. But for Group A, Pelican Stars against Niger Ratels. Now, it's not about Pelican Stars for me. It's about Niger Ratels. Newly promoted team, whichever way you want to call it, or a new team, and they are holding their own so well, sitting second right there in the third in the Group A table, and they are playing some good football. I'm loving when a team comes. There's all of the standings and the way the setting used to be, and you hold your own, play good football, get result. That's why Niger Ratels gets my attention. So Pelican Stars against Niger Ratels. For Group A, definitely Rivers Angels against Sunshine Queens would get my attention. Then I've mentioned Royal Queens against Robo Queens.
All right, so we will be the home stretch actually we should be wrapping up in a few minutes, but we're going to skip a few things. But we have to talk about basketball in Nigeria. Of course, elections held, 2 parallel elections, and a lot of people asking questions, wondering why we are here again after all the drama of a few years. Let's quickly take some reactions from sports fans, basketball fans, speaking about the NPBF elections. That will come back, get Kehinde's take on it, and wrap things up on the show.
I thought we have already put ourselves together. Because yesterday, when I heard that there's 2 factions of MBBF, one holding in Abuja, one holding in Benin. I was not happy about it. Honestly speaking, I am kind of person that want basketball to be developed in Nigeria. You can see me and work very hard. From January to December, I never relent. It's about basketball, and that's what we live on right now. And if you remove basketball from us, many of us will be sick. You understand? We want more tournaments, and this is not helping us. And you can see what happened about the final eight they played last year in Abuja, organized by ministry. They disqualify the hoopers to participate in our NBA tournament coming up this year. It's not helping us, you know. And why? So many of them play basketball. Who are they messing up with? They're messing the youth coming up. Do you understand? So we need to get our hearts together, and know the real NBBF president. And from there, we can play what? League.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that all this thing has been going on. But as far as I'm concerned, the issue has been resolved yesterday. An election has been taken. An election took place. A president has emerged. There was a representative from FIBA there. FIBA, of course, is going to copy the Ministry of Sports, telling them who they recognize. And of course, the Minister of Sports should do the right thing too and know, because of course they have agreed that there is a constitution. And that election in Benin yesterday was done with the constitution that was approved. So it erases any other thing that is happening anywhere. We have a board in place right now, and so it's also going to be smooth sailing for us, for Nigerian basketball and the players from now on.
That shows that they don't have the sport even at mind. So they are going there for their personal interest. Any which way that person understands it right now. They might understand it. That's what I feel they are going for. It's either they are going for the positioning, for the power they're going to be getting, maybe the money, maybe the traveling when it comes to competition. It's so great. It's so sad right now. I see them like they don't have the interest of the game at mind, because now, 2 elections. Let's assume, or let's imagine now, they nullify the vote that the 2 elections is not invoked right now. So definitely FIBA has to sanction the country. I think that's what some people are clamoring for. So if the kind of people that are clamoring for FIBA's sanction, those are the kind of people that does not want the sport to grow. Those are the kind of people that does not really want us to make a living through the sport. Because it's more like now they are fighting for their personal interest, their own position.
All right, we got to go. But Kennedy has to say something. 10 seconds. It's drama all over.
Yes, we're starting over, and we're starting with chaos. Almost Kida becoming president in Benin, and also Ungoche becoming president in Abuja. Where is the stance of FIBA? Where is the stance of the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development? Simple questions.
Yeah, the days ahead will be very, very interesting. Kennedy, I want to thank you for your time on the show.
Of course.
Conversation never ends. We take it out of the studio.
There's even a lot to talk about.
All right, that's the show today. We do hope that you've enjoyed everything we've been able to do. We're back here again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.